Do you want to create this 3D animation you are watching right now? Yes? So let's check this out. We are going to create this together. Alright guys, so here we are in Blender with our default cube. In this case, we can use this default cube. So we can go to modifier properties and click in add modifier. And then we need to find subdivision surface. Right? So because we want to work with displays later on. So here I can, just increase this value to 5. I think it's pretty cool. And render to 5 as well. And in advanced, I can, just turn off this option here. So we have something like that. If you want to check in wireframe to see what you are doing, in this case, if I turn off optimal display, I have this result, which is exactly what I am looking for, because I want to work with this tiny squares here just to create more details, right? So basically what we need to do now, we just need to go to add modifier, and then we need to find generate deform display. Displays is over here. We can just click here in new, and if I use my numpad and just click in 1, 3 to see what's going on, this is the format that we are having here. So I can go and click in this option here, show texture in texture tab, because here we can add more informations to this displays. In this case, I want to select cloud. So here we go. This is the result that we are getting here, and if I want to just play around with it, you can just do it, and feel free, of course, because this is your project. Again, invest your time. So we have something like this. I think size, I am going to just leave this value around 1.1. I think this is pretty cool. I already created one shot, so now it's kind of easier for me. So let's learn together. There's no problem. Like if you guys have some doubt and you want to ask me something, just ask down in the description. So basically, guys, the next step here, I can go, for example, and adjust here deep to get a smoother result, and click with the right button and then select shade move. Right? So if I move to my rendered viewport, for example, I can see that I have a gray background. So if I go to world here and then change this to, for example, sky texture, I can just, work with it because I want to create some realistic shot involving, realistic sky. Or if you want to just, use something like, just let me see. If you want to use something like that, or, just use one black to represent your sky, your universe or stuff. So feel free and do it, all right? Basically, guys, we have one grid here. We can just turn this off if you want, all right? And we want to animate this right now. We will do it later on. So I want to work the shader editor here because I want to apply a new material. So let's do it, right? The first thing we can do here, we can add a noisy node. So let me find the noise texture. And then to turn on the node wrangler, because we are going to adjust these values here, we just need to go to edit and then preference, and you just need to search for node wrangler, right? So here we go. I already have this already checked. So if I just press Ctrl T, the node wrangler is going to work properly, and now we have something here. And the next thing we want to do, we just need to open this tab here and plug this noise. If I just use the node wrangler, and if I press Shift and Control and then click with my left button, I can just plug this right into my material output. So go ahead and do it just to see what is going on with the nodes that you are using here. So I am going to pick some value just like so, and here I'm going to add one color ramp, and I'm going to just plug this here. And this, I am going to plug in color. If I turn off this, plug in surface, you should have something. Sorry, I just need to plug this in strength. So now we should have something like this. If I just change the color here to bluish or pinkish, something like that. Let's go for something like this, pinkish. So if I just use something around this. Yellow, yeah, yellow. Let's do something different. And now I can just adjust my scale value here to get some results, just like so. So now guys, it's the best moment of this tutorial, I'm pretty sure, just because we need to use a few math nodes. And in this case, we are going to use two different nodes, right? So I am going to apply here math. To do it, guys, you just need to press Shift A, and then you can search for anything you want here. In this case, I am going to find math. I just forgot it. Oh, I'm going to apply here math. To do it, guys, you just need to press Shift A, and then you can search for anything you want here. In this case, I am going to find math. I just forgot it. Oh, math, here we go. I'm gonna plug this into here, and in add, I am going to change it to multiply, and I can just press Shift D, and then here I can find a logarithm, right? And I can just plug this value to strength to see what is going on, right? So this value here, I want to keep this 0.999, and this here the same thing, right? So if I just adjust this one, as you can see, I have two different colors here, right? And if I just do one thing here, add this multiply, and just adjust this value, I can do something like this. I'm going to increase the detail value here, and the lacunarity. Oh my gosh, what the hell? I'm going to work a little bit, just like so. So here, guys, I can do another thing, which is going to help me get a different result. I can just increase this value, of course. And here I can adjust like this, for example. I think it's pretty cool. But I'm not happy with this result. So we are going to work a little bit more. So if I just adjust like this, as you can see, it's pretty cool. You can go to render properties here and then change to cycles. So you can see a lot of details that are happening in your mesh. So if you want to get back here to Eevee, you can do it. And then you can just, turn on this option, bloom. So ta-da, you have something really interesting right now. And yeah, another thing that I can do here, and you can, if you want, you can just, play around with your distortion value, and yeah, that's it. Let me see the scale. I think the scale is pretty cool. And if I want to just kind of decrease this value, I can just go to this last multiply here and then just decrease it. And if I want to duplicate this multiply, I can do it. So let me see. So we have something like this, and if I want, I can plug this here and do something like so, right? So this three, I'm gonna keep them here, multiply, logarithm, and multiply as well. And the last multiply, I'm gonna leave this here, right? So these three nodes here are doing some job, and this last multiply is just, keep the job working properly and more interesting, because as you can see now, we have more realistic result, right? So if I want, I can select all of these three and then click with the right button and click here, enjoy in new frame. So now I have them pretty organized, which is pretty cool. So the next step that we can do here to make it really more realistic, we can just press Shift A and search for bump, and then just put this bump here, and we can plug this bump here into our normal, and then if we just put this here, it's going to be better. Let's see. Yes, and this bump over here. So I can pick this noise texture and then plug into weight here, right? So as you can see now, we have a really cool result. I mean, I really love it. I like it. I like it so much, because I can go here and then just play around with it. And it's not as realistic as I want. I can add more stuff here, more interesting stuff. So I can just play around with this distance. And another thing I want to do here, I'm gonna just keep this here. I'm gonna duplicate this node here, and then I'm gonna move around. So pick this here, factor, and then plug in factor. And if I use this factor to go to weight, now this noise is not affecting anymore So I have one noise only for my bump, right? And then this noise is getting some value from this noise here, which is pretty cool. So now the next step we need to do here, oh my god, this is so nice. Damn guys, you won't believe, because I wasn't able to render this, right? So if I just move here to cycles, I can render this. Like, I'm so grateful right now because I was using one iMac, and I'm so grateful for this iMac as well. And you know, now I can just, you know, create this kind of tutorials for you. So go ahead and do it. And the next step you can do, I want to just, you know, turn back to Eevee because the result is the same thing and we are not using any transparent material here. So I can, you know, just scale this and just really play around with this noise texture. I mean, it's the best part. I think it's the best part of the tutorial, right? Look at that. This is pretty cool. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I am going to just play around with my roughness, because I want some sci-fi characteristics here, so that's why I'm gonna just leave just like so. I think it's pretty interesting. I can just turn on this option of image occlusion and screen space reflection, right? And another thing, if I want to add one sun here, I can go to light and then click here in sun. And as you can see, if I just rotate, press R, I can just rotate the sun. And we have one light here. I can just turn off this light and just leave our sun here working, and it's way more interesting, right? If I turn back to solid, I can just press Shift A, add one plane, just scale this a little bit, move this down. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna just scale this a little bit more, go to renders mode, and I'm gonna just, you know, create some water here because I don't know, I think you gotta see it. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna just decrease this value here, and I am going to press Shift A and add one noise texture here, and I can add one bump and plug this face into weight and this bump into normal. So now we have this kind of result here. If I just, you know, play around with this scale value and change this 3D to 4D, we have some pretty cool result. If I just press O, I can just go to my camera view, and as you can see, pretty cool. So I can just, you know, play around with this value, go into cycles, because I want to create some transparent material, right? So if I just turn this value down a little bit, as you can see, we have a nice result, right? And here, what can I do to really, you know, make sense? I can just change this noise, this background, this color here to sky texture. And now, as you can see, I can just play around with this value and understand what's going on. I want something more transparent, just like so. Just have fun, take your time. I think this is pretty, yes. I'm gonna just decrease this value here a little bit. I'm gonna increase this one table, and the scale I'm gonna increase. So I'm gonna increase. Oh my gosh, I'm crazy. I'm gonna decrease. So now I'm gonna just move this camera down a little bit. I'm gonna rotate it. I think you can follow this tutorial, right? Even if you're a English native speaker, I am pretty sure you can follow this tutorial. I just pressed 2 times the tab R here in my mouse, in my keyboard. So now I have something like this. And if I want to, you know, just play around with this base color here, I can do it. Of course, I can just, you know, make this kind of, let me see. I think this is pretty cool, isn't it? Look at this. Look at this. Actually, so if I just increase this value a little bit, and then I'm gonna move to my camera view again, and I'm gonna just Shift Z. No, I am going to press Command Z, and then if I want to, you know, just create some keyframes for this rock, I can just click here, and then in rotation, I can just find the rotation that it works better, right? I'm gonna rotate in the Z axis, so I'm gonna create one keyframe here at the very beginning, and I'm going to the very end in 250 frames, and I'm gonna write here 360, right? So let's play this. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And this camera, I want to create some realistic movement. So I'm gonna select this camera, go to camera, and the camera shape file add-on, I am gonna leave the link available down in the description. So if I click here in the plus icon, I can just, see what's going on. Look at this, it's too much. I don't like the results, so let's see. So way better, I can decrease the scale and really play around in that short time. I go to render, change here to EV. Yeah, we have something. I'm gonna just animate this water. I'm gonna just go to shader editor, and here in shader editor, I can animate my W value here. So I'm gonna split it up, put this just like so. And then, guys, as you can see, I can just go to timeline. Then I'm going to create one keyframe here, pressing I, and another keyframe at the very beginning here, around 1. Let me see, and press I again to create another keyframe. I'm going to move this down a little bit, move this back a little bit, and then as you can see, we have something like that. If I want to, make it smoother, I can just move this forward and this keyframe backwards. We have something like this. If you want to play around with your plane, you can just scale this more. And then here, for example, I can just, press Shift D and move this along this axis here. Shift D here, for example. Yeah, it's pretty cool if I just press play here. And I'm gonna select one of them and just move the keyframes a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And let me see. I'm gonna just adjust this a little bit. I think now it's pretty cool. Let's see. This is wrong. They're kind of overlapping each other. This is strange. So if I just, yes, let's see. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I want to add some, some movement here. I'm gonna just, what can I do? I can just bring this here, and I'm gonna create one keyframe here, and then another keyframe, and in 50, just like so. Pretty cool. Let me see. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this other rocks here. Ooh, this is pretty cool. Wow, and this one as well, let me see. Move this down a little bit. It's 77 frames. I think it's pretty cool. Let me see. Yes, I'm gonna select this camera here. Rotate like so. I want to, just work with this roughness a little bit. Yeah, I think now it's pretty cool. I can just, work way more with this, like so. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna just, work with this water here a little bit. And what we can do next, just to create some volume into this scene here, I'm gonna press Shift A and then select cube here. I'm gonna just scale this up a little bit, just like so. And then I'm gonna go here to Object Properties, go to Viewport Display, and select Wire, right? So now I gotta go to Materials, select New, and then here I can go to Volume and then select Principled Volume, right? So as you can see, I can just play around with this volume and to make my shot as much realistic as possible. Something like this, I think, is pretty cool. Density, yes. And then just to wrap this up, I'm gonna go to World, and then I am going to adjust my sunlight, which I am not happy with. I can just, decrease this value, for example, and just make a vast. I don't know if I don't know if this word is correct. I want to create a really good sea here, right? So I am going just to decrease this here. can just decrease this. The tail, I can just turn this just like so. I can adjust the tail a little bit more if I want. So I just want to rotate this ceiling here because I'm not happy. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. It's too much, this animation. What's going on? Alright guys, so invest your time, right? I'm just spending some time here because, this is my project and you are rendering yours as well. So I think this is pretty cool. This volume is pretty cool, right? So if I just click here in my camera, for example, I can just play around here in focal length a little bit, just like so. So now it's time to animate our camera. So if I want to move this just a little bit, I want to move my camera forward, right? So I'm going to create keyframes here, all of these three, select my camera here, and then forward around 100 frames. I am going just to move it a little bit, just like so. Just be careful with the design of your animation, right? I think this really makes the difference, right, at the end. So I'm gonna just create another keyframe here. Let's see what we have. So if I just move this forward a little bit, as you can see, I have something like this, which is pretty cool. So in world, again, I can just change my world type here, for example, like this, or in Nishita. I really love this one. If I just turn down this value. And one thing that can really make sense for this shot here is using our depth of field, right? So I'm gonna select my camera here, and then in depth of field, I'm gonna check this here. And then in focus on object, I'm gonna select my cube, and then I'm gonna turn this value down just around 0.2. I think it's pretty cool. And you can animate this as well. I'm gonna just put 0.3. I think it's really nice too. I'm gonna just, increase this. Yeah, I'm gonna increase this. So as you can see, I just created some kind of illusion, right? Because you see that the sea, it's really big, so you cannot see the end of it. And I did it using my depth of field. If I turn off here, as you can see, the difference is huge. If your PC doesn't handle it, you can do this strategy, right? So this is pretty cool, guys. And the last thing here, I'm gonna just turn this back down a little bit to add more, just turn this a little bit down as well. This is pretty nice, isn't it? Yes, really nice. I'm gonna just move this value a little bit, just like so. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So I'm gonna just rotate this at the very beginning because I didn't like the result that much. So guys, really, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next video.